Hello, I'm Dr. Jack Hinderman.
And I'm Dr. Jenny Leist.
And we're your family's chiropractor in Dubuque, Iowa. And today we're going to touch on a subject called sensory processing disorder. A lot of kids struggle with it, a lot of kids diagnosed with it, and a lot of kids are going through some pretty intense treatment for it.
Yeah, it's all because they can't perceive what's going on with their environment and react appropriately.
Yeah, you're right on. You're right on. That's exactly what's going on with that. And the name itself, sensory processing disorder, really just describes it to a T. But let's try to take a second and what's causing that?
I think it's due to like the traumas they're receiving, like at birth or even before that.
She knows her stuff, folks. Dr. Jenny really knows her stuff because she's right on. What we're finding in children that we're checking out is there's absolutely trauma to their spine at a young age. And when I say trauma, it's not something that a parent would necessarily notice right away. Babies can't talk to you.
Yeah.
And they cry, yeah, and they cry. And the nervous system isn't only going to let them feel, right? So if something's disturbing with that, let's say a spinal misalignment, or their neck gets twisted funny when it's at birth, the baby's at birth, they're not going to necessarily feel that as pain. But problems start to slowly arise one after another, right?
Yep.
And one of those happens to be sensory processing. I think you can even take a step back, even with the birth trauma, and just look at the pregnancy and the birth itself, the stressors that the mom's under, the fact that
it's all fear-based.
Yeah, it's all fear-based, and it's unfortunate that it's that way. But in a medical setting, when you look at intervention medically into a pregnancy, something that's supposed to be something that's supposed to be natural. And
it's treated like a disease.
It's treated like a disease, absolutely right. So when you're doing that and when you're going through that system through no fault of anybody, it's just the system itself, we run into a lot of the conversations that doctors are having with moms are, we got to make sure this isn't going wrong. We got to make sure that's not going wrong. We got to make sure this isn't going wrong. If this goes wrong, we got to do this. And that's all they talk about is what it looks like to be wrong. And we took a class, my wife and I took a class that really taught us what a normal, healthy pregnancy looks like and what are some really healthy activities for a mother to be doing throughout the pregnancy. And what we find is that, our experiences are night and day different from the horror stories, quote unquote, that we hear with the moms that are coming in today. So one thing to keep in mind with all of that is those stressors and those traumas absolutely cause subluxation in babies. And the great geneticist Bruce Lipton, was he defining with the nervous system? What's the nervous system's job?
To perceive and then coordinate all the cells and stuff in the body.
Yeah, so first our brain must perceive the environment. It's got to perceive our internal environment. It's got to perceive our external environment. And one of the ways it perceives the environment is through our sensory nerves, right? Another way it perceives our environment is through our mechanoreceptors in the body that allow us to understand where our body is in space, right? Like if I go like this, I can't see my hand, but I know it's up, right? So the brain's got to take that information in through these senses. It's got to go up through the spinal cord and hit the brain. The brain's got to make sense of it, right?
Filter out the stuff it doesn't need and all that stuff.
Exactly. It's got to be able to fully perceive the environment, right? And then it's got to go one step further and it's got to send signals out to the body and it's got to coordinate all the functions of every single cell in the body. Right? So if there's a problem with that process, what do you think it shows up as in kids? That's just one of the things that we were talking about.
Having trouble concentrating, acting out. There's a whole bunch of stuff that can... Body just doesn't...
What about tags on their shirts?
Yeah.
simple little tag on their shirt can drive them crazy.
Or jeans.
Or they can't,
That one.
yeah, they can't wear certain
like-
clothing.
Don't like the feel of jeans. Don't like the feel of like soft fabrics. It's like
Yep.
it's yeah.
There you go with sensory processing disorders and problems. So I'd love to be able to continue this conversation with you either in person if you have a concern for yourself or a loved one who's struggling with that particular issue, then please call our office. We're open to have this conversation, and we're also open to take it a step further and do an evaluation to see how well the nervous system is perceiving the environment and how well the nervous system's adapting you to the environment. That's what our scans do. That's what the Insight does. It measures adaptation, how well your body's adapting to the environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So contact us at 556-6921, or you can connect with us on Facebook and like our page, or join our YouTube. We put these videos out weekly, so we look forward to connecting with you soon. I'm Dr. Jack Hinderman.
And I'm Dr. Jenny Leist.
Take it easy.